Miss Cindy here, and welcome to Tales and Tales Summer Reading Online with the Louisville Public Library. Now, this year's theme is cryptids. Oh, doesn't that sound fun? And now, don't forget to register online and be sure to complete all the challenges in order to get awards, in order to get prizes. In today's video, I'm going to do a presentation on a local cryptid. So let's go ahead and get started. It's going to be about the Loveland Frogman. Have you ever heard of it?
There have always been whispers of something that roams at night along the rivers and streams of this area. But for a long time, the whispers were just whispers, just a vague warning passed down to the days of the earliest settlers. Don't stop by the water at night. There's something down there that you wouldn't like. The early settlers must have held on to the old world superstition that you might summon a thing by talking about it. For the warning always came with a knowing look, but no explanation. Don't stop by the water at night. The people who lived here had all heard the warning many times and just did their best to heed it. But the modern world kept getting closer, bringing more and more strangers to the area. What happened that night in 1955 was bound to happen eventually.
The Loveland frog, or Rhinus erectus, is a rather novel Ohio folklore icon. It's a legendary humanoid toad or frog that prowls the nights of Loveland, Ohio. Now, the distribution and habitat. The Loveland frog is known to live in Clermont County, Ohio. As you can see, it's in the southern part of Ohio. The creature lives in a temperate forest and is able to survive the cold winters of the region without having to hibernate. Now, its behavior and its life history. The frogman apparently has the physical ability to use sticks like tools. However, they also have an ability they can use those sticks to emit sparks like a wand. This could mean that the frogs have an ability to control electricity in some way. Down by a river in Loveland, Ohio, you'll find the typical things: birds, frogs, crickets, and the smell of the evening air. And then you'll get a whiff of something that doesn't smell right, something sweet and dry and not pleasant. Local rumors state that there's something unnatural behind that smell, and it's best not to be down by the river at night. Why, you might wonder? In Loveland, a 4-foot frog roams the marshes on its hind legs. At least, that's what a local legend claims. Okay, some information about the Loveland frog. It was first reported in March of 1955. Another name for it is the Loveland lizard, or of course, it's called also the Loveland frogman. It was found in the United States in the state of Ohio. Its height is 3 to 4 feet. Its weight is 50 to 75 pounds. Its habitat is rivers, lakes, and ponds. Its speed is up to 20 miles an hour. Its temper is timid and shy. Its diet consists of insects, reptiles, and small mammals. Its lifespan is about 15 years. According to various legends, stories about a massive frog causing all manners of mischief first started in 1955, with some versions of the story specifying the month of May, and as you can see by the previous slide, also March. There are 3 different versions of that story that only differ slightly from each other. The three stories start the same, with a businessman or traveling salesman driving along an unnamed road late at night. The stories start to differ at this point. In one story, the driver was heading out of the Branch Hill neighborhood when he spotted three figures standing erect on their hind legs along the side of the road, each 3 to 4 feet in height, with leathery skin and frog faces. In the other two versions of the story, the creature was spotted under or over a poorly lit bridge, and as there are a number of bridges in Loveland going over the Little Miami River. The story tells of the businessman watching the figures converse for a while, until one of the creatures held a wand over its head and fired a spray of sparks, startling the observer into fleeing the scene. Oh! All right, now let's do the traveling salesman story, and his name is Jim in here. Jim was a traveling salesman. That night in 1955, Jim had parked right next to the Little Miami River on a quiet stretch of road in the town of Loveland, Ohio. He glanced either way down the road and realized for the first time he wasn't alone. About 30 yards away, just where the streetlight's glow faded out entirely, someone was squatting down against the guardrail. At least it looked like a figure. It could just be an odd-shaped piece of roadside trash. Jim smiled and waved to the hand that he had a cigar in that direction, and the figure moved suddenly in a way that Jim didn't like at all. It jerked its whole body in one startled motion and then returned to perfect stillness, not moving another muscle. An unnatural, inhuman movement. Jim walked casually toward the figure, smiling, his hand in his pocket, ready for anything. Jim was close now, about as close as he wanted to get. His shadow stretched out huge in front of him and fell across the strange figure, hiding it even further into darkness. Jim stopped just steps away from the dark form. Sure did smell, though. Jim pulled out his flashlight from his pocket and switched it on. He never came back for that flashlight. Anyway, it broke when he dropped it. The cops pulled him over, going at 80 miles an hour through every stop sign in downtown Loveland. And when he started to tell them about the thing's face, like a scaly little man's with slits instead of a nose, a lipless mouth stretched like a frog's, but with sharp broken teeth, bulging eyes with horizontal pupils, well, they impounded the Studebaker and took Jim to jail to dry out. Well, the next day, the cops gave him his car, patted him on the back, and told him maybe he'd better go home to Cincinnati and see a doctor. And the modern-day legend of the Loveland Frogman was born. Now let's go ahead and do one of the stories from the Loveland police. On March 3rd, 1972, at 1 a.m., Loveland police officer Ray Shockey was driving on Riverside Drive near the Totes Boot Factory and the Little Miami River when an unidentified animal scurried across the road in front of his vehicle. The animal was fully illuminated in his vehicle's headlights, and he described it as 3 to 4 feet long and about 50 to 75 pounds, with leathery skin. He reported spotting the animal crouched like a frog, but it momentarily stood erect to climb over the guardrail and back down towards the river. 2 weeks after the incident, a second Loveland police officer, Mark Matthews, reported seeing an unidentified animal crouched along the road in the same vicinity as Shockey's sightings. Matthews shot the animal, recovered the body, and put it in his trunk to show Officer Shockey. According to Matthews, it was a large iguana, about 3 or 3.5 feet long, and he didn't immediately recognize it because it was missing its tail. Matthews speculated the iguana had been someone's pet that either got loose or was released when it grew too large. According to Matthews, Shockey was shown the dead iguana and confirmed it was the animal he had seen 2 weeks previously. Matthews recounted the incident to an author of a book about urban legends, but says the author omitted the part that confirmed that the creature was an iguana rather than a frogman. The fabled Loveland Frogman was allegedly spotted most recently in 2016. Sam Jacobs said he'd crossed the train tracks to the banks of Lake Isabella when he spotted something strange. He saw a huge frog near the water. This was an actual giant frog, Jacobs told WLWT. Then the thing stood up and walked on its hind legs. I realized this sounds crazy, but I swear on my grandmother's grave, this is the truth. Jacobs claimed the frog stood around 4 feet tall. Not sure if it was a frogman or just a giant frog, he said. Either way, I've never seen anything like it. Okay, now let's go ahead and see the short video on, which is Sam's video on the Loveland Frogman that he took. What do you think? Do you think it was the Frogman? Well, let's go ahead now and take another look at another video, which is kind of a short documentary about the Loveland Frogman.
There are many strange creature sightings seen all across the United States, though one stands out in particular. This, of course, is the Loveland Frogman. The Loveland Frogman, the Loveland Frog, the Loveland Lizard Man. These are all referring to the same creature that was first spotted in 1955. The story goes that a businessman was driving when he came across 3 creatures conversing, though the stories differ from here. In one instance, the man was leaving Branch Hill neighborhood when he saw the creatures, though in other stories, the creatures were seen either on the top or on the bottom of a bridge nearby, though there are many bridges in the area. As the story goes, the man saw the 3 creatures conversing, and one had a wand where he shot or sprayed sparks out of it. This led the man to leave. The next sighting was in 1972, on March 3rd at 1 a.m. Officer Ray Shockey was driving at night when he illuminated in his headlights a strange, crouched-over creature that was similar to a frog. The most recent sighting of this creature was on August 3rd of 2016 when 2 teenagers spotted the creature while playing Pokemon Go near Madeira Road.
And here are some of the sources that I used for all the information in this video, and the music and the sounds I used also. Now, the legend of the Frogman has hung around Loveland for decades and has quite the cult following. What do you think? Do you believe in the Loveland Frogman? And don't forget now to stop by the library and pick up your grab bag that goes with this video. Inside that grab bag, you'll find a cubed Loveland frog that you can cut out and put together. And you'll find a cute little frog magnet for your refrigerator. Plus, there's a couple extra little goodies in here. So, again, don't forget, stop by your library, pick up your grab bag, and don't forget now to complete your incentives or your challenges so you can get some awards to win prizes. And now your challenges this week are check out 10 books, check out 3 movies, and read 75 pages. And I hope you enjoy your summer program. And thank you for joining us for another cryptid video adventure. Now please join us every week starting June 7th through August 6th for new cryptid videos. Also, stop by the library each week to pick up your grab bags. Now, the grab bag will contain any supplies needed for crafts, plus some cool gifts. On Fridays, don't forget to watch Storytime at 10:30 with Miss Jenna.